What is up, ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube world? What is poppin', lockin' it? What's droppin', baby? Welcome back to the series, back to the channel, and most specifically to this video. Now, it's been a little bit of a minute, and I haven't uploaded since the 10K, and I've been a little bit behind track. So, without further ado, let me go ahead and explain a little bit of what's been going on this week and to catch everyone up with the weight loss and fitness progression. Like I said before, it's been a little bit since I've recorded and uploaded anything since the 10K, of course. A little bit of some situations that's been going on. So, right after the 10K, I actually woke up not the day after, but that Monday I went into work and I was feeling really bad. So I actually had to leave early because I was hit with a fever of 100.1 degrees Fahrenheit. So I've been dealing with a fever for a day or two and then just some overall residential sickness. I've been still feeling a tiny bit ill, but good enough to at least do stuff around the house now that needs to be done or some other stuff like that. So we've been sticking to the diet, of course, the meal plans and everything that I set up per week, as well as even good enough to weigh myself. Although I weighed myself on Sundays, that was the day I knew before I got sick. So a couple things to put in consideration there. So, but as you can see here, this is the Monument 10K shirt that you get when you sign up. Nothing really much to necessarily update besides that, but I figured I'd go ahead and give you guys a little bit of what's been going on this week and a couple things that I want to start doing moving forward with the channel and additions to the weight loss and / fitness journey. So I'll catch you guys when we go over the weight loss portion of the journey. Ladies and gentlemen of YouTube world, welcome to my bathroom. This is typically where I weigh myself in the morning, as you see from the previous videos of me weighing myself. I have some good news for my ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube world out there, as we have continued to lose weight. Not as much as I want to, but still a good progression because we are in fact losing the pounds. We have went from 183.2 all the way down to 183.0 or 183 just in total. So we did lose 0.2 pounds. So after a 10K, seems a little bit odd that I would only lose that little weight. But with that being said, I did not really exercise last week anyways, so it could just been a lack of calorie burning. But at the same time, typically after you do an intense exercise like running a 10K, a lot of muscle retention would form in there, and probably a lot of it had to do with the legs, because my hamstrings, my glutes, a little bit of my cheeks, as well as my calves, especially my feet, were hurting. And also the day before, I walked 20,000 steps at Busch Gardens. So, but that's pretty much it for the weight loss progression. Not really much to it. I'm not going to do a physique check because we haven't really done anything to improve the physique. So there's really no point of doing that. Maybe besides seeing how slim I got, but I just ate lunch, so a little bit of bloated there for a memento. But I think now let's go over what I've been eating throughout this week. Hopefully inspire you guys to use some of these recipes as well. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now at the kitchen where I typically go over my meals and the groceries for this week. So I was not able to record my groceries just because I was just unable to do anything. So I figured I'd go ahead and explain basically my meals throughout this week to my beautiful ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube world. We'll go ahead and open everything up and show you what I've got going on. So this is what I've been having for my OMAD. I can't remember the serving amount, but we're looking at, I think, 12 ounces of grass-fed sirloin steak, as well as 16 ounces of shrimp with 12 ounces of corn and 8 ounces of mushrooms. So basically that's more so what I've had for my OMAD. I believe the macros for this were pretty low. So we're looking at 1,035 calories with 150 grams of protein, 53 grams of carbs, and 20 grams of fat, with 9 grams of fiber, 25 grams of sugar, and 2,819 milligrams of sodium. So a little bit interesting about this meal, and something I haven't really done with any of these meals, is incorporating corn as my starch or my grain, or carbohydrate, I should say. So I don't think corn is considered a vegetable, and I think scientifically corn isn't proven as a vegetable, but I think corn can be more incorporated more as a carbohydrate. Is it as good as rice or potatoes? No. But with being gluten intolerant, I'm pretty limited to what I can have for my carbohydrates. So it's either going to be potatoes or rice. So corn could be the third option, but corn isn't necessarily the best thing for you. So it's got a decent amount of fiber in it, but compared to what potatoes and rice can offer you, corn is just not top tier like those two carbohydrates are. But I needed something different. I was getting kind of sick of rice and potatoes, but which is kind of ironic because my meal two this week both involve rice and potatoes. So for meal one, we have this here. This is a German bowl, or else I'll just call it a German bowl. So essentially what's in here is 4 links of chicken sausage. 2 of the links are bourbon apple, and 2 of the other links were a caprese, tomato, mozzarella, and basil flavored. So I'll put the brand up here as well of what those are. I think out of all the chicken sausages, this happened to be the best because a lot of sausages don't pass the protein test because sausage, of course, has fat in it. So this particular brand actually passes the protein test, which the bourbon apple, I think, was 120 calories with 12 grams of protein per link. And then the caprese flavored was 130 calories with 13 grams. So in total, everything came out to mean 500 calories with 50 grams of protein. And also what's in this is red potatoes and Brussels sprouts. So there's 8 ounces of red potatoes, and then the Brussels sprouts, we're looking at 4 ounces of shredded Brussels sprouts, pre-shredded, of course. So then I'm gonna go ahead and put the macros of everything. The bowl is pressured pretty good. We're looking at 704 calories with 50 grams of protein, 59 grams of carbohydrates, and 25 grams of fat. All the fat basically just coming from the sausage, as well as 10 grams of fiber, 17 grams of sugar, and 2,158 milligrams of sodium. So one thing about these as well, very high in sodium. All these dishes are very high in sodium, unfortunately. So do keep that in mind. If you do decide to make these are extremely high in sodium. And then for meal 2, we have something pretty special. This is my chicken fried rice. So majority of it is chicken, of course, with rice being in there. So it would be like fried chicken with rice, I guess. I don't know. But essentially, this is my chicken fried rice bowl. Now, something kind of cool I do with these is I actually prep the meal prep. And I'll show you guys what I mean by that. So I have one of these here with me, actually, after showing the photo of it being cooked. But as you can see here, the ingredients are actually in here now. So they're not raw, but they're ready to be thrown into a pan. So the ginger, garlic, chili, you get the broccoli. You can't really see the onions in there though. And then the rice and the chicken's on the bottom. So essentially I like pre-prep these for the meal prep. And all I really do is just throw them onto the pan, cook them up, and then put the eggs and then the sauces on top as well as the dry seasonings, and then just cook it. And it takes about 10 minutes to cook. Consistent in this is I got 9 ounces of chicken. Got a packet of rice, which I can't remember how many ounces are in that, but it's one of those 90-second microwave rice pouches. But the brand that I got was like 360 calories with 9 grams of protein. That's pretty good for rice. And then there's some cubed broccoli, and of course minced up some onions. And then there's garlic, ginger, and chili in there. The trio that makes a fried rice a very good fried rice. And then there's also salt, pepper, and garlic for the dry seasonings. I have 1 egg and 5.33 ounces of egg whites to go in there. That's not part of the pre-prep, but I do add that when I cook it, of course. And then I do have some liquid aminos in there instead of soy sauce because it's a little bit lower in sodium, and it's also gluten-free. So, but I think liquid aminos is pretty much the same thing as gluten-free soy sauce. Come to think about it. So for the fried rice dish, we're gonna be going over the macros for this wonderful dish. So we are looking at 1,084 calories, a bit high on the calories, but half of it is literally coming from the chicken. So 9 ounces is a lot of chicken, and it came up being like almost 500 calories. There's 122 grams of protein in this. Again, majority of it is from the chicken, but the rice also has contributed in there, and there's a little bit of protein in broccoli, as well as protein in the soy sauce. So when you do make things that add soy sauce to it, just remember to track that because there is protein in soy sauce. But there's also a lot of sodium, so I'll get to that in a minute. So 90 grams of carbohydrates with the vegetables and the rice, of course, 29 grams of fat, 8 grams of fiber, 6 grams of sugar, and a handful of sodium. This one actually has 1,383 milligrams of sodium. So, sorry. There's no, I actually didn't track the soy sauce in this, so kind of ironic I didn't even track the soy sauce in this. But with the soy sauce, we're looking at almost 4,000 extra milligrams of sodium added to this. And then the protein could have went up a little bit more, as well as the carbohydrates. But that's without the soy sauce. So remember when I said that. But always, I would track your soy sauce just if you're tracking protein, because there is protein in soy sauce. But that's pretty much it for meal 2. And then I'll go over dessert a little bit, because it's pretty simplistic. So for dessert, we have these 3 things here. So these are considered protein ice cream. So each pint has ranging from 450 to 480 calories, and each of them have 30 grams of protein in it. That's pretty much the only good thing that's going on with this. There's no fiber, there's really no, there's a little bit of carbohydrates, a little bit of fat in this, but that's pretty much it. I really like this brand of ice cream. There are some cons with it though. It's $9 per pint, which is kind of crazy. And these are the 3 flavors I got. So my favorite is the cookies and cream, but there's the banana grand slam. That's really good too, if you like banana and peanut butter. And then there's cookie dough, which was my favorite until those 2 flavors came out. But they have a bunch of other flavors too. I think they have chocolate, strawberry, mint chip, peanut butter. So this is a pretty good ice cream brand. Fair warning, very expensive though. But out of all Halo Top-esque type of ice creams, I think these taste the best. And by the way, they're not officially gluten-free, but none of them are made with wheat. It might just be like made within the same facility as wheat. So if you're celiac, I probably wouldn't take the risk on these. But if you're intolerant like me and you're just looking at things without wheat in it, then you should be good to go, because it's been treating me pretty well. So, but I've been having these for dessert. So I just use a half a pint. So I just got 1 tub of each, and then that's how I'll get my desserts throughout the rest of the day. So without further ado, I'll go ahead and share with every single one of you ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube world my total calories throughout the entire day. So we are looking at 1,988 calories with 180 grams of protein, 173 grams of carbohydrates, and 58 grams of fat, with 82 grams of fiber, not sugar, 27 grams of sugar, and then 7,571 milligrams of sodium. So this one actually has the soy sauce tracked in there. In grand total, we're only 100 difference between calories and protein, which is pretty good, which means our protein goals have gone up a little bit on the lower side for protein versus what I've been trying to aim for, which is about above 200 at least. But 108 is not too bad, especially with the weight I'm at now, 183. So you typically want to go for 1 gram of protein for 1 pound that you are. So actually, if anything, that's a good thing. But sodium, in fact, is pretty high on there, but you can help counteract that by just keeping yourself hydrated. But like I said, soy sauce does have a crap ton of sodium in it. So if you're able to get lower sodium soy sauce, I would highly recommend doing that. Unfortunately, I don't think they make lower sodium gluten-free soy sauce. So that's just something I have to deal with. But that brings me into some other news. So one thing I haven't really been doing a lot of is cooking on this channel. And I think with me being sick, I've been thinking a lot. And one of those thinking decisions actually made me purchase something, which I'll explain to you guys here in a minute. So with this one, I'm probably going to be bringing a series to this called Meal Prep Mondays. So basically what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be cooking meal prep recipes that I just think of, and basically just make episodes of just meal prep this stuff for the ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube world to learn from and use with their journeys as well. I really wish I did record the German bowl and the chicken fried rice, because I think those two are great recipe videos, but I'll be making those in the future. Just not now, because I don't feel like doing that. I don't feel like eating that twice in a row. So, because I'm already eating it throughout the entire week. God forbid I want to do it 2 weeks in a row. So I think I'm pretty excited for this. I'll be uploading shorts for those as well. And then of course the long-term recipes. So it'll be 1 recipe per week. So at least it'll give me enough content to give out throughout the entire week, because I'll be making 2 of them per week. So, and even a dessert. I've meal prepped desserts before, so I think it'd be a pretty cool idea to do that as well. But that's going to be something that I'm going to be looking forward to, and hopefully you guys will be too. Meal prep Mondays. Yes. I don't think I'm gonna do the OMAD ones because my OMAD ones is just 2 proteins. Essentially, it's like the meal prep, except for 1 protein. I just put 2 proteins. But I'll also explain how my meal prep works and what I think about when I do my meal preps. So that could be another video for the future as well. I'd say let's go over my surprise that I saved for last. That's gonna be evolving with the workout routines. See you guys then. All right, ladies and gentlemen of D2 World. So we're gonna go over my little home gym that I got going on here. And I actually added something to it. And there's actually one more thing on the way. But I'm thinking about this is gonna be pretty cool when it comes to the gym videos, as well as kind of almost revamping my gym routine here in a little bit. So let me show you guys what I got. That's right, ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube world. I got myself a pull-up, dip, and ab machine, or I guess like a bar setup. I saw this on Amazon. It was a pretty good price, and I actually really wanted to improve my home gym here a little bit. So I figure with some body weight additions, we can go ahead and do that. So we have here the pull-up bar, which is adjustable, of course. We have the dip, so this would be the dip section right here, and then the leg lift portion, which is this, as you can see here, like that. I wonder what this works out. Maybe it's some sort of pull-up, I don't know, because I'm like dipping and then putting myself back up. Maybe it's like a dip, I don't know. Yeah, and then also down below here, there's also an attachment for doing push-ups. Maybe something I could addition to that too. Depending how you set your push-up up, it can actually work some of your front deltoids. My goal for this guy, I'm actually going to be removing the pull-ups and the dips from the gym routine and I'm going to be putting them into here. So one thing I kind of wanted to do daily uploads of how many pull-ups I can do, and then hopefully you can improve from there. So sometimes it could be kind of repetitive, but I think I can do 3 pull-ups. So I haven't done any today. I did some a little bit yesterday. I kind of regret it because I was still not feeling that great. I'm not 100% now, but I think I should be able to do a couple pull-ups. So I said, let's go ahead and see how many I do. So I guess it'll be wide grip. You can also do center grip too, but for the wide grip, you really want to target those lats some. Oh, so I did 3. Now, they weren't complete pull-ups because I'll have to kind of get this thing a little bit higher because I have to kind of go down a little bit. But typically when you stand yourself like this, see how my elbows are bent a little bit? It needs to be where my elbows are not bent to do the actual pull-up. But I'll have to make some slight adjustments to do that kind of thing. See how many dips I could do. Oh God. Yeah, I wish I had more energy in me, but I did 7 dips though. For body weight, that's pretty good. And then we can do leg lifts, just, you know, legs straight out like that on the machine. What's kind of weird about these though is that only really works your lower ab. I think the further you go out though, you can kind of do your upper ab. So, but I can go like that far maybe. By the way, you're welcome for the toe exposure. And then last but not least, we could try doing some push-ups. Why not? But yeah, so I mean, that's pretty much it for the push-ups. I think they're a little bit different than actual push-ups because you're kind of holding your grip like that. So, but it's a neat little machine though, I ain't gonna lie. But I also have resistant band cables on the way as well because these guys are terrible. I mean, there's like no resistance on them. They're probably good enough to do like lateral raises like I'm doing now. But I mean, like, yeah, these suck. I need to get rid of them. But it also did come with like short little handles, but those broke. So I unfortunately got stuck with these guys. But I do have some bands on the way with some better grips. So hopefully we'll do some better at home upper body and lower body exercises. I'll just have to kind of come up with a couple different things for that. So the upper and lower body, I'm thinking of doing more of like a cardio-esque or lightweight high rep formation versus doing low weight high rep, what I've been doing at the gym for strength training. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it, guys. So let's go over the outro. But ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube world, thank you so much for tuning in. If you guys are enjoying the content and enjoying the channel, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share with others, especially the ones who are wanting and willing to start their fitness journey. Comment anything positive and negative, we're on the internet, so we gotta learn to take it. Leave some pretty good criticism for me and anything that maybe you would recommend doing on your journeys, and I could try it out to see if it works for me. But ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube world, I'll say it once and I'll say it again. Thank you so much for everyone for tuning in to the journey and to the channel. Stay disciplined, stay focused, and I'll catch you guys on whatever I upload next. Peace.